Buenos dias. It is Monday morning, 11:18 a.m. And happy Constitution Day, everybody. It's the Mexican Constitution Day today, and I thought that would be appropriate to maybe do a little bit of video on the president, Claudia Sheinbaum, who reacted to the United States tariffs the other day. And I thought, well, you know, Trudeau did a reaction as well. And I thought, let's do a Joel reaction video to both leaders and see how they are handling it. We actually have some news that just came in an hour ago on the positive development for Mexico. And if you haven't heard that, then maybe just wait. But if you've probably already heard it, but that is good news. But I'll go through the whole video. We're going to look, first listen to Claudia and how she reacted to the president. Then I'm going to give you my thoughts on her reaction. And then I'm going to flip over to Justin Trudeau and see how he handled it. And I'm going to give you my reaction on that. And then kind of follow up with a little bit of news on what's happening on the tariff side and just my general thoughts. Caught a little bit of heat from the last video from my patriotic Canadian friends, and I just want to say, there's no doubt about it. I'm Canadian, okay? I don't have any love for Trump or Biden. I couldn't care less about who's the leader of the United States. I do care who's the leader of Canada and also of Mexico. I'm just looking at reality. The reality is Canada is in a very tight spot right now economically. It's painted itself into a corner. Now, that's not to say it cannot get out of that corner. I mean, we're a scrappy bunch as Canadians, but just as individuals, we can't do a thing. We need some real leadership in Canada, and we need some leadership that is going to think outside the box and start creating some alliances with other countries to secure our economic integrity, our economic independence, and inevitably our economic freedom. Because make no doubt about it, I mean, we're kind of in a bit of an economic war right now. The States has their own problems, and Trump has been very clear. They need to expand their territory. They need to pay off their debt. And, you know, they're looking to the weakest components out there and trying to bulldoze them over with their fiscal power. But again, don't take it the wrong way. I'm all for Canada. I'm just a realist, and I think we all have to be prepared. I have savings in Canada. I have investments in Canada, and I'm preparing myself for a what if, right? And it's like having a fire drill. We need to be prepared, you know, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. I was going to present the video of Claudia. Here, I'm just going to share my screen, and we will take a look at that together. And I've also turned on the subtitles so that we can listen in Espanol, and we can also read the subtitles if you don't understand the Spanish. And then I will go through it in an English dissertation afterwards. All right, ready to roll? Let's do it.
Muy buenas tardes a todas y a todos. Como probablemente estén enterados, el día de ayer el gobierno de Estados Unidos impuso aranceles del 25% a los productos que exportamos hacia su país. Fíjense, llevamos 30 años que esto no existía, porque tenemos un tratado de libre comercio. El último tratado de libre comercio lo firmó el presidente López Obrador con el propio presidente Trump. Esta medida del 25% de los aranceles tiene efectos para ambos países, pero tiene efectos muy graves para la economía de los Estados Unidos, pues va a elevar los costos muchísimo de todos los productos que se exportan de México hacia los Estados Unidos. Va a tener un 25% más de costo. De acuerdo con estas medidas que aprobó el gobierno de los Estados Unidos, hay documentos que lo sustentan. Y según esto, una de las razones para poner este arancel es por el fentanilo que entra de México a los Estados Unidos y que enferma y provoca muertes por sobredosis. Pero aún más irresponsable, terriblemente irresponsable, es que la Casa Blanca emite un documento donde dice que hay vínculos entre el gobierno de México y la delincuencia organizada. Quiero platicarles el comunicado que publiqué a través de mis redes sociales el día de ayer. Allí explico quiénes son los que verdaderamente tienen vínculos con estos grupos delictivos, la razón de las muertes por sobredosis de los estadounidenses. Y también digo que si ellos quieren actuar, no deberían fijar su mira en México, sino en su propio país, donde no han hecho nada para parar la venta ilegal de esta y de otras drogas. Primero que nada, como ayer lo dije, rechazamos categóricamente la calumnia que hace la Casa Blanca al gobierno de México de tener alianzas con organizaciones criminales, así como cualquier intención injerencista en nuestro territorio. La soberanía no se negocia. Si en algún lugar existe tal alianza, es en las armerías de Estados Unidos, que venden armas de alto poder, sí, de alto poder, que son de uso exclusivo del ejército, de ellos, a estos grupos criminales. Esto lo demostró, fíjense bien, lo demostró el propio Departamento de Justicia de Estados Unidos el 8 de enero de este año. Aquí tengo el documento que fue publicado en esa fecha, donde la Oficina de Alcohol, Tabaco, Armas de Fuego y Explosivos, que depende del Departamento de Justicia, fíjense bien, reconoció que el 74% de las armas que usa la delincuencia organizada en México proviene de forma ilegal de la industria militar de su país.
That's kind of interesting. Just maybe going to pause it right there. Made some really, really good points. And I've talked about this before. I think the whole thing about making cartels in Mexico a terrorist organization is just a load of crap, right? It's an excuse to make a case to invade Mexico's sovereignty, right? But if you look at it, what is the United States doing to handle their own cartels? Those cartels have been in power and in place for since the late 1800s, really, when organized crime really began, and then in the early 1900s, and now it's just fully integrated into American society. So if the Americans really wanted to handle the drug program, they wouldn't be setting the sights on Mexico and sending tier one operatives into Mexico. You keep your tier one operatives in the United States and send them after the guys that you know are running the distribution on a very, very large scale in the US, which is causing all those fentanyl deaths and other drug overdoses. You would send your tier one operatives after them first. And then the second thing she goes over is like 76% of the high-powered military-grade weapons that are here in Mexico are being exported via the United States to these criminal organizations. So who, in fact, is the terrorist here, right? So maybe the U.S. has its own terrorist organizations that they need to deal with first before they start looking outside their borders and trying to classify other countries as having terrorist organizations. Let Mexico deal with their own problem and you guys deal with yours. And if you kind of like separate it that way, then I think there's going to be able to kind of come together and see what you can actually do together in each other's mutual benefit. Let's continue on.
Nuestro gobierno ha asegurado en 4 meses más de 40 toneladas de droga, incluyendo 20 millones de dosis de fentanilo. También ha detenido a más de 10,000 personas vinculadas con estos grupos. Tenemos estrategia, atendemos las causas y combatimos la impunidad. Todos los días trabajamos por la seguridad del país. Ahora, si el gobierno de Estados Unidos y sus agencias quisieran atender el grave consumo de fentanilo en su país, ¿por qué no empiezan combatiendo la venta de estupefacientes en las calles de sus principales ciudades?
Exactamente.
¿O cómo es que las personas con adicciones compran esa droga? ¿Por qué nunca hemos oído de detenciones en Estados Unidos de los grupos delictivos estadounidenses? ¿Cómo es que no se investiga el lavado de dinero de los grupos delictivos de allá? ¿Por qué no ponen toda su inteligencia a trabajar para detectar a los grupos delictivos que venden fentanilo en su territorio o de otras drogas? Bueno, también podrían iniciar una campaña masiva para evitar el consumo de estas drogas y cuidar a sus jóvenes, como lo hacemos en México. El consumo y distribución de drogas está en su país y ese es un problema también de salud pública que nunca han atendido. ¿Por qué no se preguntan cuál es la razón de fondo de tanto consumo de drogas que lleva tanto tiempo en los Estados Unidos?
Again, another interesting point. I mean, again, it goes back to why don't you deal with what's in your own backyard first? And ask yourself the question, why are so many Americans addicted to these drugs. Like, there is obviously a problem, but it's not because of Mexico, it's not because of China, it's not because of anyone, really. It's because of a problem in your own backyard. So rather than trying to spread the blame elsewhere, maybe the agencies and the government can focus on cleaning up the mess in your own backyard.
Además, ayer también lo mencioné, fíjense, la epidemia de opioides sintéticos en Estados Unidos tiene su origen en la prescripción indiscriminada de medicamentos de este tipo, que fue autorizada por la Administración de Drogas y Alimentos, la llamada FDA, como lo demuestra un juicio contra una farmacéutica. Hay series en la televisión que lo explican. Es más, la droga que causó la crisis de consumo de opioides sintéticos la siguen vendiendo en sus farmacias con autorización oficial.
Legal drug
Quiero
dealers.
decirles, y esto es muy importante, México no quiere confrontación. Partimos de la colaboración entre países vecinos. México no solo no quiere que el fentanilo llegue a Estados Unidos, sino que no queremos que llegue a ninguna parte. Por ello, si Estados Unidos quiere combatir a los grupos delictivos y quiere que lo hagamos conjuntamente, debemos trabajar en forma integral, pero siempre bajo principios, los principios de responsabilidad compartida, de confianza mutua, de colaboración y sobre todo respeto a la soberanía. La soberanía no es negociable. Coordinación sí, subordinación no. Para ello, el día de ayer, en mi comunicado, le propuse al presidente Trump que establezcamos una mesa de trabajo con nuestros mejores equipos, los de seguridad y también los de salud pública. No es con la imposición de los aranceles como se resuelven los problemas, sino hablando y dialogando, como lo hicimos, por esto se los quiero contar. Lo hicimos así en las últimas semanas con el Departamento de Estado para atender el fenómeno de la migración. En nuestro caso, siempre con respeto a los derechos humanos. La gráfica esta que el presidente Trump ha estado subiendo a sus redes sociales sobre la disminución de la migración fue elaborada nada menos y nada más que por nuestro equipo, que ha estado en constante comunicación con el suyo. A nuestros hermanos y hermanas mexicanas, mexicanos en Estados Unidos, quiero decirles que aquí está su presidenta y un pueblo entero para defenderlos. Si desean regresar a México, aquí los abrazamos. El pueblo de México es valiente y tiene mucha dignidad. Es el pueblo más maravilloso que hay sobre la tierra. Les digo que aquí está su presidenta. Tenemos valentía y firmeza, pero siempre, como lo he dicho en otras ocasiones, hay que actuar con la cabeza fría y el amor al pueblo. Nada de lo que hagamos nosotros afectará la dignidad y los intereses del pueblo de México. Les propongo que esperemos la respuesta del presidente Trump a nuestra propuesta. Y en la mañanera del día de mañana, en la mañanera del pueblo, les estaré informando las primeras medidas de lo que llamamos el Plan B. Como decía Juárez, nada por la fuerza, todo por la razón y el derecho. Y entre los individuos, como entre las naciones, el respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz.
Right on. So that is, let me just stop the screen share here. That was from Claudia. I guess, hold on, I got, sorry, I just had a video just randomly started playing. Regardless of what you think about the president of Mexico, that was a very clear and concise response to the tariffs. What I really liked is there wasn't an immediate retaliation, right? She said, we have a plan A, a plan B, and then a C, a D. So they actually have a plan, based on what happens, they'll implement plan A versus plan B, plan C, etc. And plan A was to reach out to President Trump yesterday to try to reconvene, to basically delay this tariff war by 1 month and put their best people on it, on both sides, to deal with the issues of both countries. And lo and behold, it's kind of interesting because I was supposed to do this video early this morning, but I got sidetracked. But just over an hour ago, it was announced that U.S. tariffs on Mexico was paused for a month after a border deal. So go figure. And it's ridiculous. Like, you got the shills like out there already, claiming that the Mexican president Claudia Sheinbaum, basically, fell on her knees in front of Trump. You got that idiot Alec Jones out there saying she capitulated to him. But give me a break. All right, things are happening for a reason, but make no mistake, Mexico is actually in a very powerful place right now, both economically and strategically for the U.S. So, and they're not just going to let the U.S. run them over. And I like the tactic. And so right now, basically it's been announced just again over an hour ago that they're pausing the new tariffs and they're going to work together. So on border security, and also the U.S. Government has agreed to start working on or committing to preventing high-powered military-grade weaponry from crossing the U.S. border. So, time will tell what's going to happen in this next month, but it's great to see that there has been a month delay for Mexico. So why don't we flip over to Mr. Trudeau, and we'll see his response, which was done yesterday, and let's compare the two. All right, we're ready to hear what Trudeau has to say.
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world. I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store and gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. Together, we've built the most successful economic, military, and security partnership the world has ever seen. A relationship that has been the envy of the world. Yes, we've had our differences in the past, but we've always found a way to get past them. As I said before, if President Trump wants to usher in a new golden age for the United States, the better path is to partner with Canada, not to punish us. Tonight.
Okie dokie. What do you guys think of that? Obviously just 1 second here, just check my mic. Obviously, a lot of things make sense to what he's saying. The U.S. will definitely face some damages. Americans will get hurt. Canadians will get hurt. This is an economic war, right? So, if this was a war where we're actually going to battle, people get hurt, right? So the invading force, if they're stronger than the force trying to protect their homeland, suffers casualties. but eventually they win. And I just think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I prove to be wrong. Supposedly there's going to be a decision tomorrow or some news tomorrow on whether the tariffs are going to be paused on Canada. But my guess is that this strategy is not going to sit well with the Americans and Trump. I think, and it's just my thought, is that Trudeau is going about this the wrong way. The video, he looks weak. He does not have the same passion as Sheinbaum. He does, he professes this Canadianism, that he's a proud Canadian, but I don't know. I don't get it. I did not find his reaction overly inspiring or overly confident. And I think the retaliatory tariffs was premature. And they went about this the wrong way. And I think the States is going to go and say, you know what, you do your retaliatory tariffs, and we'll come talk to you again in another month. And the United States will focus on working with Mexico over the next 30 days, and then they'll come back to Canada. So that's just my guess. And again, I could be wrong. Anyways, that's it for this video. And again, I am not trying to say anything negative about my American friends or my Canadian compatriots. We're just in a weird situation of an economic war and just general economic upheaval that has started it just didn't start this year, right? Like, it was before COVID, it was during COVID, but we have a existential crisis right now where the monetary system is broken and it slowly has to come to an end. And the powers that be are just trying to figure out how that's going to work, and everyone is working, all the countries around the world, to find their spot of power in this world and save themselves. And Canada's no different. I hope we come out of this. I think we can, but it's going to require really solid leadership. But we'll see. My guess is that Trump is going to tell Trudeau where he can stuff those countermeasures, but maybe I'm wrong, and I actually do hope I'm wrong, and that the tariffs get frozen tomorrow, and that we have a month grace to start negotiating. But what are your comments? Comment below. Who did you think was the more inspiring leader? Was it Sheinbaum? Was it Trudeau? I'm very interested to hear what all of you have to say. All right, on that note, I will leave you. Nos vemos. Hasta luego. En adiós desde Bucerias, aquí en casa la familia Goralski.